If you hang out with a bunch of chickens, you're gonna cluck. If you hang out with an eagle, you're gonna fly. By the way, I'm an eagle. What do you want to do?
What up, people? You already know who it is. It's your boy SoCal. Check this out. Let's get back to the trucking business, shall we? Let's get back to getting that knowledge. And you guys already know what I say. You guys already know what I say. What do I say, people? What do I say? I say two things. Get that money, and if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. You guys already know I'm always talking about that mindset, because if that mindset ain't right, you ain't right.
Damn!
All right, on this video, check this out. I'm going to talk about breakdowns and what causes a lot of the breakdowns. SoCal, I broke down. I don't understand why. Here's what's crazy. You ever heard of the scenario about the gun? That the gun don't kill people, people kill people? Well, most cases, unless you have a newer truck where you got the DPF, DEF, and all the sensors, that's a little bit different situation. But on the older trucks, they don't have that kind of stuff to go wrong. So why do people break down? Why do people break down so much? A couple reasons why. Number one, they're not pre-tripping their truck properly. Most of the time why they're not pre-tripping their truck properly is because they don't really know what to look for. They did enough to pass the test, and after that, they probably forgot everything they need to look for. The second thing, if you're a business owner, is preventive maintenance. That's the biggest thing in trucking, is preventive maintenance. To me, that's just as important as putting fuel in the truck. No, SoCal, that's not important, because if we don't have the fuel, we can't start it up and go down the road. Well, it's the same thing in preventive maintenance. If you don't do that properly, all kinds of stuff's going to break, and you're still not going to go down the road. I did a video some time ago about my Blue 389, and you guys saw me in the shop. You guys saw that I did torque arms, bushings, I did the carrier bearing, I did U-joints, I did all belts, all the hoses. But the truck didn't need all that stuff, per se. I mean, what I mean by that is it didn't break down, a hose didn't blow up, a belt didn't break, a U-joint didn't fall on the street, a carrier bearing wasn't wobbling. The bushings, they're like whatever. The torque arms didn't need to be replaced. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Let me tell you why. So when I bought the truck, I never did that stuff before. I don't know when they did that stuff. And my mechanic was looking at the U-joints and carrier bearing, says, yeah, they don't look bad. But guess what happened? As we took the U-joints off the driveline, the caps are coming off. I know you don't know what the caps are, but if you look at a U-joint, it's like a star, and there's 4 caps, one on each end. And what that does is when you grease the driveline, grease goes on the outside of the caps, and it rolls on the driveline, and that's what causes it without friction. What happens is those caps will come off, and then the next thing you know, your U-joint's going to blow out, and your driveline's going to hit the street and wipe out airlines and all kinds of stuff. So when they took my U-joints off, there's like at least one of them where when they took it off, it didn't want to come off very well. And then when they got off, the caps blew off, and it was in pretty bad shape. It didn't look bad shape on the truck, but when they took it off, it was in pretty bad shape. What would happen if I didn't do that stuff? Oh, the truck's good. U-joints look good. I'd have went down the road. Now, who knows how long that U-joint would have lasted? Maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe a year. Who knows, right? But when that thing would have broken, it would have dropped the driveline and wiped all kinds of stuff off the truck, airlines and everything else. Plus, I've been stuck on the side of the road. Or, if I wasn't lucky when the driveline would have broke off, I'd have been in the middle of the street. Because once the driveline comes off, you're not moving. So if you're in the street, you're stuck there. Then next thing you know, CHP shows up, a bunch of stuff shows up. So this is what's really, really important about preventive maintenance. Is, to me, Maybe not to you, but to me, it's just as important as fuel. You know, so the belts. Probably didn't need the belts, but I'm pretty crazy when it comes to preventive maintenance. I put a book in the truck. I like to document every single thing down, dates, miles, who did it, how much it cost, so I know what's going on. Because when I'm going down the road and I do my preventive maintenance, I know most likely the chances are I'm not going to break down. Now, if a sensor goes out, the DPF gives me an issue or DEF gives me an issue, hey, that's different. The only thing that stops that stupid stuff is, guess what? The only thing that stops that is what? Doing a deletion, which I love deletions. You do a deletion, guess what? No more DEF, no more DPF problems, no more sensor problems, no more red check engine lights stopping you in the middle of the road trying to deliver a load. So, I love deletions. Now, you're going to say, yeah, but SoCal, I don't have the money to do all that, SoCal. Well, this is where you got to sit back and you have to think, like, what can I do to put the money up to do what I need to do? I was talking to my mentor today. He has 7 trucks. 7 trucks. Not going to mention his name or none of that kind of stuff because it doesn't matter. But him and I are working on getting him some accounts and taking care of some of these trucks because, well, I showed him where he can make $5,000 more a month. Was it worth it for him to join the program? I think so. But anyway, one thing I keep telling him is the same thing. Preventive maintenance. His fan was acting up. He didn't fix it. His driver drove the truck, overheated the truck 5 times. Never even told him. 5 times overheated his truck. Now, let's go back. Who can he blame? Well, first of all, any driver that's overheating a truck, you need to replace that driver, first of all. Because if you see the temperature rising, flip the manual switch if you have one to get that fan going. If you don't, pull it over. Figure out a way to cool that truck down. But it really started with him because he didn't fix that fan. Again, that's preventive maintenance, right? The funny thing was, when I did that 389, I changed out at the same time the clutch fan. And since I changed out the clutch fan, I said, you know what? Put a whole new fan blade on the truck. There's nothing wrong with the old fan blade. Matter of fact, I have it right now at the house. But who wants to do the clutch fan and you go down the road and I don't know how old that I don't know how old that fan is. And next thing you know, the fan starts breaking, starts cracking. Now I'm paying the labor twice to take all that stuff off to put the new fan on there. I think the fan was $400, $500, something like that. I'd rather just pay to get a brand new fan put on there. Now I can put it in my book. Guess what? I have a brand new fan. I have a brand new clutch fan. I got brand new belts. I got brand new hoses. Fresh oil change. I think I rebuilt. I put some. I think I rebuilt. Yeah, I rebuilt the power steering pump too. And then, I did the bushings, the torque arms. Why did I do that? Why did I replace the torque arms? You can take the torque arms off and just buy bushings. But it's just more time consuming and more stuff. We want the Peterbilt. We got some OEM torque arms and bushings. Slapped them on. Took less labor. Boom, done deal. So preventive maintenance is extremely important if you don't like breakdowns. I cannot stand a breakdown. Cannot stand a breakdown. I am pissed off if that happens to me. Now, how many times do I break down on the side of the road? I think I can only, maybe twice in my career that I can remember. Yeah, maybe twice. Now, what's a breakdown to me? A breakdown to me is when you're stuck on the road and you got to get a tow truck or get pulled or figure some way out. Your truck acting up or whatever and you hobble it to the house or hobble it to the shop. To me, that's not a breakdown. That's just your truck going down. But understand some people. if you don't understand preventive maintenance and you don't know what to look for, learn it. One day I will do a video of preventive maintenance of the bushings, the torque arms, and everything that you need to really, really look at. And I'll explain how you know when they're going bad. But see, preventive maintenance means what to me? Preventive maintenance means replace the stuff before it goes bad. Before it goes bad. Right? Because once it goes bad, it's too late. Once it's bad, it's too late. When something's bad, now you're getting stuck at the scales. Now you're messing up your authority. Because every time you go through the scales and they red tag you, your authority gets hit. Every time they write you up a fix-it ticket, you're getting hit. So preventive maintenance means you're going to replace your stuff before it goes bad. And you got to get it done. Make sure when you're running, you're making the money to put up to do your preventive maintenance properly. So I hope you understand this video. If you have questions, put it in the comments below. And there's more to trucking than just putting fuel and oil in it and starting it up. Please, people, do yourself justice. Do your business justice and learn preventive maintenance. You don't got to be a mechanic. You don't got to know how to replace the stuff yourself with a wrench. But at least know what the hell you're looking at. Don't go on the back of the frame of the truck and say, look at that doggy bone back there. Look at that doggy bone back. Oh, that doggy bone. I heard somebody say, call it a doggy bone. And, you know, people don't even know the names of the stuff that's on the trucks. When you guys go talk to a mechanic and you don't know what nothing's called or anything else, the mechanic knows you're pretty ignorant when it comes to trucks. And if it's not your mechanic and it's a random mechanic, he knows he's going to be able to get you in your pocket. Because if you show up and say, you know this thing back here, they know they got you. And they're going to charge the shit out of you. Because if you don't know what it's called, you don't know how much it costs to replace it. You don't know how much that part costs if you call the dealership. Another scenario, stop going to TAs and get stuff fixed. Stop going to TAs, people. You want to empty out your pockets? You want to go broke? Keep going to the TAs. Now, a lot of people can say, yeah, but SoCal, we're not a local driver. I'm not local all the time either. But, I mean, let me give you an example. I can call my boy Hamlet. I think he's in Ohio. I can go to Ohio and go get stuff done. Somebody called me about one of my trucks that was in Hesperia. So what do? I called one of my buddies up. I said, hey, didn't you run a lot in Hesperia and you got a mechanic? Yeah, I got a mechanic. Okay. What's the mechanic's name? What's the shop called? Okay. Now when I go over there, hey, so-and-so sent me. You know, so that's what I'm saying about building relationships. Building relationships is extremely important. Because even if you don't have a mechanic in Arizona, don't you know somebody that runs Arizona all the time? Come on. Or you're one of these truckers that don't talk to nobody. What about a CB? What about getting on the CB and talking to a trucker and say, hey, I'm looking for a good mechanic in Arizona, man. Holler back at me and let me know. Where's a good mechanic in Arizona? Where's a good mechanic in Phoenix and Parker? It's communication, asking questions, building relationships. I mean, every time you go to a mechanic, not a TA, but a real mechanic, get his business card. Carry the little book in the truck. You know, the book you go get at Staples where you can put all the business cards. Start building a library of business cards of different states of good mechanics. Guess what? Now you have a mechanic in all the different states that you stop at, correct? So it has nothing to do with being local, and I'm a local guy. You got to think, people. You got to think. People don't even think about that. How many of you guys have the book from Staples where you can put in business cards? I'll wait. Nobody? Okay. Well, I have one. So you keep the business cards. Tire guys, mechanics. It's what they call a book of business. Salespeople are used to that name, a book of business, because when a salesperson, whatever he's selling, cars, houses, boats, RVs, he builds a book of business with his clientele, his customers, his connections to whatever to get fixed. He can leave Mercedes and go to Jaguar, and guess what? He still has his book of business to follow him wherever he goes. And that's what you guys have to realize. Build yourself a book of business. Save these business cards. When I say save, I don't mean put them in your wallet. I don't mean put them in the cup holder or throw them in the damn glove box. I mean get a book, put them in there, put some notes, write on the business card, whatever you need to write, and build a book of business for your business. You guys need to have a mindset of thinking as a business person and not an employee. I know it's hard to do sometimes because when you're an employee so long, which I'm glad I have not been, but when you're an employee so long, it's hard to change, right? Like they say, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. But if you're going to be in business, you better start learning it. If you want to stay in business, if you want to make the most money, save the most money. Because money saved is money in your pocket. It's not always about how much you make, but it's how much you save also. So, that's enough on this video. It's probably like 15 minutes long. I try to make my videos nice, short, and sweet. So, preventive maintenance, people. Preventive maintenance. Learn that word. Learn that word. Because that word and doing some action behind that word will save you a lot of money. And you'll cut your breakdowns down to zero. Well, probably not down to zero to new trucks, but it'll probably cut it down 80%. Anyway, hope you like this, and I'll see you on the next video. Remember, subscribe. It's free. Subscribe. It's free, and hit the bell. See you guys later.